Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I as always am Grestar and this is another death battle reaction, Black Canary versus Sindel. So of course make sure to click on the link in the description below to go to the official release first, like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Watch that there, then come back here and we'll watch it together. So Black Canary versus Sindel, let's see, so Black Canary is DC Comics and Sindel is Mortal Kombat. Alright, that's all that I know about them. With that, let's get to watching. I mean, all that I could really say in addition to that is that from what I know, DC Comics has a higher, power overall in the universe than Mortal Kombat does. Not that Mortal Kombat isn't powerful, but DC Comics is just way more so, you know? Anyway.
It's a trope we're all familiar with. The damsel in distress crying for help.
Yeah, Wiz, don't think that's
Okay.
the case here, because these
Yeah.
two are the opposite. If you ever hear their cry, you're dead.
Black Canary, the blonde bare-knuckled brawler of DC Comics.
And Sindel, the literal Scream Queen from Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our
Now
job to
you're
analyze
caught
the
up with
weapons,
everything
armor,
that I
and
know.
skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Man, okay, Sindel got big hair apparently.
Behold, the Justice Society of America.
Oh.
The first recorded team of superheroes in the DC universe.
Where else could you find a boxer in a catsuit chilling with the spirit of God's divine wrath?
Oh.
And among these men and gods stood a woman, the judo-chopping Black Canary.
Wait, why a canary? Canaries don't know judo?
That
Or
one does.
do they?
However, this is not the Black Canary we'll be focusing on today.
Oh,
See, the Black
okay.
Canary of the Golden Age may have been a skilled crime fighter in her own right, but the one who made the moniker a household name was her daughter, Dinah Laurel Lance.
Oh,
Dinah
okay.
wanted to be a crime fighter just like her mom, so she trained with Wildcat, the furry boxer I mentioned earlier.
Thank you.
Her mother wasn't very happy about that, though. Young Dinah's career could have ended then and there, if not for the discovery of what she likes to call her canary cry.
Ah.
Cases such as these weren't ordinary, but well explained. See, Dinah possessed the meta gene, a dormant slice of
I
genetic code
see.
present in about 12% of humanity, granting superhuman abilities.
Yeah, Wizard did it.
Wait,
With
so
her
this
new
is
power
just
in martial
X-Men?
arts training, Dinah took up her mother's mantle and became Black Canary, the second one. Is it weird that her mom was also named Dinah? They're really forming a
Oh.
dynasty.
Fun fact, originally she disguised herself by donning a blonde wig, but eventually just dyed it permanently.
Blonde?
Oh.
Don't you mean yellow?
Honestly, that's fair.
Regardless, the canary cry is no joke. By emitting focused ultrasonic sound, Dinah can annihilate the eardrums of anyone nearby.
Or just ramp up the volume and blow people away with shockwaves. She
Wow.
can even stop a runaway train.
It's quite versatile.
Really?
Too. She can focus
Stop
her
a
cries
train
into
with her
small
screaming.
sonic projectiles or broaden them to affect entire cities.
And by screaming hard enough at the ground, she can freaking fly.
Wow,
How the
yeah.
hell does that shit work?
Let's dig into this for a bit. For a sound wave to become a shockwave, it must possess an intensity of at least 194 decibels. For reference, Black Canary's highest recorded scream clocks in at over 300 decibels.
That's the same level of bulls as a volcano erupting.
All that power comes with a fairly obvious weakness, though. If her throat is damaged, she'll be unable to produce the cry.
That's why she's got some nifty ultrasonic canary bombs that do the
Oh.
super shouting for her.
How
Not
nice.
to say she's useless without her superpower, of course.
She's one of comics' greatest.
Why doesn't she
ass
do
kickers.
anything to
Thanks
protect
to
her
Wildcat
throat
and her
then?
mother, Dinah has trained in jujitsu, karate,
Like a
Krav
collar,
Maga,
I'm sorry,
capoeira,
that
and many,
doesn't
many
really
more
work.
styles of martial arts. She knows holds that can put you to sleep, a punch that can detonate your heart, and even how to cause
Okay.
instant death by pushing a single nerve cluster.
Really?
She's basically the furious, blood-soaked love child of Kenshiro
Oh
and the
my,
bride
wow.
from Kill
Oh, she
Bill.
did her.
Also, before we go on, all this kung fu talk makes me want to see a judo canary in action. And what better opponent than our very own Mecha Goose Howard?
Yay, Mega Goose.
Did you teach it, judo?
No!
So, turns out they don't know judo.
Even if
Throw
it
his
did, it
hands up
wouldn't
on
have gone
that
any
wig.
differently.
Even with all that, Dinah's greatest strength is perhaps her uncanny ability to learn and adapt mid-fight. It's what makes her such a great sparring partner to superhuman martial arts masters like Wonder Woman.
Oh.
It was during a fight with her, in fact, that Black Canary claimed she could perceive time down to the nanosecond.
I'm sorry.
Sounds crazy, right? But believe it. How else could she keep up with someone like Wonder Woman? Or how about the time she battled these red tornado androids? Green Lantern was using his power ring to scan for weaknesses, but Dinah said F that and stabbed it hundreds of times super fast. She found its literal Achilles heel before the power ring finished scanning.
Wow.
That's right, she outsped an alien supercomputer.
Okay.
Keep in mind, Dinah does not technically possess superhuman speed or strength.
But I wouldn't be surprised if she secretly drank some super soldier serum.
Well, it's
at
the
some
same thing
point,
where it's
'cause
like
she
Batman's not a
outmuscles
superhero, and it's
superhumans
like, yeah,
and
bull
smacks
crap,
steel like
he's
a
not. With
flimsy
everything
one.
he does,
Given the
he
yield
absolutely
strength of
is.
steel and the size of her elbow, Dinah must have exerted a force of around 27 tons.
The gal survived a fall into the ocean from 1,000 feet, and even her own canary cry reflected back at her.
It helps that she has a special membrane in her ears that protects her from shockwaves.
Can't
Oh.
say the same for this robot dude, Amazo. For a murder-happy android with the combined powers of the entire Justice League, he sure could have packed some
The
aspirin.
entire
She may
Justice
be
League.
stubborn
Wow.
and hot-headed, but with her powers and training fine-tuned, Dinah proved her mom wasn't the only Black Canary to be reckoned with. She even teamed up with groups such as the infamous Birds of Prey, and at one point took charge of the Justice League, the spiritual
Took
successor
charge.
to the original Justice Society.
Next to her main man, Green Arrow. They spent a lot of time sticking arrows in that quiver, if you know what I mean.
How sweet.
They did sex.
Yeah,
Long
got
story
it.
Short, Black Canary is without a doubt one of the most badass women in comic book history.
Cool. Now let's see what Sindel
The
has.
realm of Edenia was a paradise, a Garden of Eden, if you will.
Okay.
You said that like it was supposed to be clever.
Under the rule of King Jared and Queen
Was
Sindel,
it? 'Cause, yeah,
the
it
realm
wasn't.
prospered for millennia, until the arrival of Outworld conqueror Shao Kahn and the tournament of Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat!
By decree of the Elder Gods, an invading force from another realm must defeat the defending world 10 consecutive times in a tournament to the death.
Unfortunately for Edenia,
10?
Khan dabbed on their asses and won Edenia for himself.
To legitimize his rule, Khan murdered Jared, married Sindel, and adopted her daughter Katana as his own. Excessive? Probably.
Needless to say, Cindy wasn't too happy about all that. But it turns out she was a kung fu sorcerer. So, to avenge her kingdom, she underwent a mystic ritual where she offed herself to protect Khan's next target, Earthrealm. And it worked!
For a time. After 10,000 years of hopelessly failing to take the Earth, Khan learned how to undo her protective ward.
Okay.
Sindel was resurrected, brainwashed, and transformed into a fierce queen of dark magic and terror.
She
Oh.
was back and ready to slay. And holy shit, did she!
Sindel's Edenian physiology gives her superhuman strength, speed, and durability, allowing her to make mincemeat of Mortal Kombat's regular combatants.
You better have said that with a K.
And despite being dead for the past 10,000 years, she's somehow a master of two forms of Chinese Kung Fu. Jiaquan originates from northern China and is known for its eloquent, graceful, extended movements. Fu Xiaopai, also known as the Tiger Claw system, focuses on fast, powerful strikes.
It's interesting they're
Sindel
taking the
also
time
wields a
into
Kwando.
consideration.
It's a glaive designed for long-range deflection and carving people up like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Though she hardly needs a weapon when she already has one, her hair. She can command it to stretch like a tentacle, constrict opponents, and act essentially as an extra prehensile limb.
Not
Huh.
gonna lie, Wiz, that's, kinda hot.
Oh, would you still think so if she used it to spin you like a top fast enough to obliterate your body?
Wow.
What a way to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all that pales in comparison to her signature ability, the Banshee Scream. This ultrasonic shout is powerful enough to detonate heads, split limbs, and rend flesh. Her screaming power can even be focused into mystical fireballs of destruction called Star Screamers.
Oh, like that Transformer that we had that pony eat his soul.
Yeah.
Sindel once screamed with enough force to annihilate a large part of a canyon. This resembles the effects of a magnitude 5.0 earthquake, comparable to nearly 500 tons of TNT exploding all at once.
With power like that, it's no wonder she was able to strut through Earthrealm's mightiest heroes, which include our old pal, Sub-Zero! What, I kept it as a souvenir.
Who, along with most of the series combatants, can shatter a block of pure diamond with his bare hand. A feat like this would require a pressure of at least 60 gigapascals. That's over 4,300 tons of force per square inch.
And Cabal!
Who was fast enough to swat machine gun fire out of the air, like the flies in Boomstick's bathroom.
Accurate.
Judging by the likely muzzle velocity and rate of fire, Cabal must have been reacting within 600ths of a second in order to consistently parry these bullets.
And he blocked a bunch of them back to back to back. Too bad Sindel wound up getting blown up and brainwashed all over again.
Again?
Man, this chick can't catch a break, though the zombie MILF thing's kind of working for her.
Well, that's only one possible timeline. In the original story, she was actually freed from Shao Kahn and regained control of Edenia. In another,
good
it
for
seems
her.
the killing of her royal husband was actually her plan all along.
Oh, good for
Either
her.
way, we're talking about Mortal Kombat. They all die eventually.
Yeah.
But compared to the Queen, everyone else might as well have been silent.
I guess that's it. Okay.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
Interesting,
But
interesting,
first, we'll tell you about
interesting.
him.
It's time for a death battle and pause. So in my thinking, like, Sindel did seem really powerful, but I'm leaning toward Black Canary for this one. Mostly, honestly, not so much for the feats that they gave her, but for the world that she's been in, and like, or the implicit feats they gave her, like the stuff that they mentioned that maybe wasn't as big as like blowing up a canyon with her voice, you know? I mean, like, let's compare the canyon thing to her stopping an oncoming train with her voice. That seems pretty big, and being able to broaden it to like encompass an entire city, or being able to like focus it down, like to make a bullet basically. I know Sindel could do something kind of like that, but I didn't think quite to the same extent. And then just to, while we're still talking about like their screaming capabilities, even if we're to say that Sindel's is a little more powerful, they did mention that Black Canary had a resistance to it, at least within her ear. I remember at least within her ear, she had like an innate resistance to those, the sound waves, you know, or something, right? Shock waves? Either way, the biggest thing though, honestly, that's making me lean toward Black Canary, or the biggest things, because I guess there are two of them. Her sparring with Wonder Woman, and how she's able to presumably perceive time to the nanosecond, because that's pretty big. Like, if you can keep up in a fight against Wonder Woman, then you can keep up against, I'm pretty sure she could keep up against Sindel with like her glaive or whatever it was that she had. And being able to like move around and fight so quickly and find the opponent's weakness before Green Lantern's ring could, you know? Like, I feel like those two acts of like cunning and speed, on top of her own physical prowess, I think those could prove to be enough. And while she wasn't given, like, she doesn't have superhuman strength or superhuman durability, like she does, right? But they just don't say she does. It's like I mentioned with Batman, how it's like bullcrap. He absolutely has superpowers. Normal people cannot do that. The strongest people in the world cannot do that, you know? So I'm thinking that just with the world that she lives in and the stuff that she is capable of, as awesome and terrifying as Sindel is, apparently, I think that Black Canary can pull out a win here. Not only that, but like she's been fighting like her entire life, right? Like from a teenager, at least I would assume, when she wanted to become a crime fighter like her mom, and then, you know, working with multiple different like crime fighting teams like the Justice League or whatever the Birds, you know, team was. Whereas Sindel has only been fighting like since she had to, right? Like she was just, I assumed she was at least just a normal queen, and then she started fighting. And so like she does know a lot of fighting styles, but I think that Black Canary knew more fighting styles, you know? I guess I say a lot for Sindel. I only remember the two that shouldn't have worked, you know, like chronologically speaking, but anyway, I think that Black Canary is going to win. My biggest iffies with that are just like, it seems like Sindel is, you know, physically stronger and maybe more durable too. Like, you know, there was Black Canary's like steel feet and then Sindel's diamond feet, which, you know, the diamond feet's better, right? But like her screaming's more powerful, but if Canary has like the shockwave kind of, not immunity, but resistance, yeah. So Black Canary's going to win and play. I don't know how Black Canary's gonna do against her hair. I'm hoping that that's just, she looks so crazy. I'm hoping that's where her speed will come into play and she'll just be able to avoid it.
I shall strip the flesh from your bones.
Or, you know, use her scream to break it or something. Your hair is huge, my dear. Oh no. Ow, ow. Also, ow.
Are you hurt, child? Let me sing you a lullaby.
I didn't realize that her skin was like that hard.
No kidding. I almost fell asleep.
So does that mean that her scream is stronger?
Ring out's a thing here.
Insufferable creature, we fight to the death!
And all this with broken ribs and like a shattered leg.
Such a pretty bird with such an ugly song.
Uh-oh.
Tell me, can you fly?
Can you fly? I forgot all about those grenades. Scream, scream, scream! Okay. Jeez, what happened? Wait, I'm gonna need you to go back on that one. What did she just do? Did she just punch through her throat?
Sindel's head is blasting up again! Or, well, for the first time technically, so I tried to work it in, guys.
You did.
This battle was a curious one. For the most part, Sindel's physical strength, projectiles, and aerial maneuverability let her keep up with the bird of prey.
Yeah, she was 160 times stronger.
Yeah.
But Canary's made a living off fighting superhumans who are even stronger than that, like Mammoth and Giganta. So I guess that wasn't that big of an advantage, really.
Comparing Cabal's bullet timing to her nanosecond reaction, Dinah's reaction speed was easily 60 million times faster.
60
and with her
million.
wide array of martial
Okay.
arts abilities, she certainly capitalized on this.
Sure, Sindel had some awesome moves, but sadly, stepping on people like a hot dominatrix doesn't quite stack up when Black Canary mastered way more fighting styles. Plus, she's been training all her life. Adenia was super peaceful before Shao Kahn came along, so I doubt Sindel was taking names and kicking ass all before that.
But let's move on to the comparison everyone wants to know. Which was deadlier, the Banshee Scream or the Canary
I am curious.
Cry? We know Dinah's cry could reach 300 decibels. In comparison, the results of Sindel's most powerful scream are similar to a 5.0 earthquake, which is equivalent to only 235 decibels.
Oh,
I
really?
know what you're thinking. That's a difference of only 65 decibels. That can't be all that.
No, decibels-
different. Wrong.
yeah.
It's totally different, because decibels are freaking weird.
They are.
See, decibels are not like meters or minutes, which scale geometrically. Instead, decibels scale logarithmically. For every 10 decibels a sound is, its intensity increases tenfold. So 30 decibels is 10 times greater than 20 decibels, 40 is 10 times greater than 30, and so on.
So, every increase multiplies the sound instead of just adding to it. Wait a minute. That means the Canary Cry would be...
About 1,000,000 times stronger than the Banshee Scream, nearly 500 megatons of TNT.
Wow.
awesome.
The closest real-life comparison we can make is the Krakatoa eruption of 1883. A volcano blast so powerful it could be heard over 3,000 miles away. Not so different from what Dinah has been shown to be capable of.
It
Wow.
also didn't hurt that Canary had those special membranes in her ears to guard against Sindel's scream.
In the end, Canary had the speed, skill, and raw decibels to finish her.
It was Sindel's time to die. Nah.
Ha.
What, no pun about screams?
Well, I was gonna, but I thought a pun that obvious wouldn't be allowed.
Ah.
The winner is Black Canary.
Claps for Black Canary. Cool. You're welcome, Ben. You do other stuff next time on Death Battle. Leonardo versus Jason. Yes, Leonardo versus Jason. Okay, I was gonna say, did I remember his name right? Because, you know, it's been a while, but I did. All right, let's talk about this death battle. Glad I was right. I did not realize that it only would take like the 250 or whatever decibels to like blow up that canyon that was Sindel's big feat. Because that was my big thing, where it's like, I thought that proved that that Sindel had a more powerful scream, and so that was one of my big reservations, was saying that Black Canary would win. But apparently she was way more powerful in terms of screaming than Sindel was. Black Canary was more powerful, yeah. So, that was a thing that I was not aware of, but there we go. I'm surprised, honestly, that they didn't talk at all about how, like, if there are shockwaves enough to move you, like, they're enough to, like, completely disrupt your internal organs, because isn't that a thing? I just kind of thought that would come into play with like a super science heavy show like this, but I guess not. But no, like in the conclusion, they mentioned a lot of things that I did. So as always, I'm super happy whenever that happens. Like mentioning Dinah's, experience, mentioning her speed, like the nanosecond thing. I even mentioned that, like, I even acknowledged rather that Sindel's diamond thing was a lot more powerful than Black Canary's steel thing. So, yay! I was happy for that. Conclusion, like, I agree with. All it did was expand upon the stuff that I had already thought, and it confirmed things for me, and it clarified other things, so I was happy about that. The animation itself, I thought was pretty cool. It's not like my favorite animation that they've had, or, like, ever had, or had recently, but I certainly didn't dislike it. I thought Sindel looked utterly silly. Honestly, like, her eyes were almost non-existent, which I think is like basically Sindel's thing, even if you look at like the 3D models, but still. And then her hair was ginormous. It's like if you were visiting the human world for the first time and saw a toilet when you're used to elven culture, It'd be crazy. But yeah, like, it was just super big and like over the top, and I was like, all right, silly, sit down, But like, hair is part of her powers, so of course it's gonna be a big thing, but it looked humorous to me. And then the choreography was nice. Like, I enjoyed the animation, don't get me wrong. I thought it was good. It just wasn't anything like exceptional to me. It didn't stand out necessarily, but it was solid, Like, I really liked when it showcased like what happened to her ribs, what happened to her leg. Things like that. Those little touches in particular I thought were really cool. Aside from that, the choreography made, it made sense enough to me. It seems pretty organic, whereas other things again seemed forced. The main one recently that seemed forced to me, I think, was Dragonzord versus Mechagodzilla. And then the others have seemed pretty organic, all things considered, where it's like one thing kind of leads to the other, rather than just showing things for the sake of showing things so that viewers know that you've shown the things and will hopefully not complain as much. They're bound to complain because y'all are fickle, but hopefully not as much. The story, I don't really know what was going on as far as the story is concerned. Black Canary was there doing Mortal Kombat stuff, I guess. I think that's all it was. Yeah, so not much to say about that. Next time, Leonardo versus Jason, that will be interesting. I mean, like, it's, TMNT versus Power Rangers, and it looks like, Jason's the original Red Ranger, right? So, I don't know. That'll be interesting stuff. Let me know what you all thought about this death battle in the comments below, whether you liked it, whether you disliked it, what you thought about this or that, etc., so on and so forth. And next time, we will be watching Leonardo versus Jason, so I hope that you are looking forward to that. But yes, with that, we're calling it here, so have a good one, everybody.